Good evening, guys. Welcome back to the Global Racing League. We're here for round 9 this evening in a very gloomy Monza, to say the least. First groups of cars just heading out onto the racetrack. It is a very overcast Monza. There's not much sun here in the boot of Italy. First cars make their way through the first couple of corners on their outlaps. So we will wait to see who is going to be the fastest this evening. It's a good evening for Donkey Max. He is going to be able, if he finishes inside the top 10, to close his gap once again to Tom, as Tom cannot be with us tonight. We have got a cover for Tom in Mando in the Haas, who's going to be doing Tom's run tonight. However, his points, if he scores any points today, will not go towards Tom's championship total. It will just go towards the constructors. And he's actually making his debut tonight and has gone out on the medium tyre to start off with, which is interesting. Potentially trying to just get a sighter lap. Just trying to get a bit of traction in the back of that Haas as well, to make sure he doesn't spin off. So he makes his way through the second chicane. Nice and tidy there. Atrocity is joining us tonight as well, just a little bit late to the party. You might have just seen in the bottom of the screen. Better late than never. That means Wreck Diver will have a teammate this evening, and we will have 15 cars on the grid, and Mando's just got his second sector invalidated there, so that lap time will not count. Head back to Reap, who's going to be first to set the opening pace. So 121.6 to open. Waffler's just crossed behind him and done 121.3. Mando's invalidated. Reek Physic is next to come across the line, who had a fairly decent debut last time out. Across the line, 125.7 to open up. And Donkey Max absolutely smashes everyone out of the park with a 120.5 to open up. Maestro is next to come across the line and slots in P3 for now, and we've got a yellow down at Ascari, and that is Big Bad Boots out of the race, out of the session, sorry. He's had an off coming through Ascari. Just trying to see if we can see that as Reap is making his way through there now. Oh, and there he is. Yes, he's hit the inside wall there, on the inside of Ascari, and he is out of the session. So Big Bad Boots is the first casualty. Grobs has also retired in the pit lane. Not sure. Oh, in fact, sorry, Grobs, I believe he's got a qualifying ban, if I'm not mistaken. We'll double check that. And meanwhile, Reap goes second fastest with a 121.2, still a good 7/10 off the pace of Donkey Max. And oh my goodness me, Reaper's had a huge accident coming through. He's in between the two Lesmos there. I was just trying to look up and see if I can find out. Yes, Grobs has got a quali ban, so that's why he has retired in the pit lane. But that is a huge accident for Grobs there. That'll take some cleaning up as we go on board a wrecked diver. Coming down the back straight. So yeah, that's a very big hit from Reef. Reef is second fastest, and he's out of the session already. So that's 2 casualties we've had in the space of well, less than 10 minutes at the beginning of this session. And go back and have a look at Benny, who's currently trying to improve. He's not going to improve on that occasion because he's gone across the white line, so he will have to go again. Mando's done a 151.7 so far. That is quite considerably off the pace. It looks like he's definitely going to go faster this time as he comes out the last corner and across the line, and it's a 121.7, and it brings him all the way up to 6th place. So Mando sneaks inside the top 10, just on the cusp of that top 5. But with Reap out of the session and not going to be able to improve, you'd think a couple of the other guys are licking their chops there to try and get in that top 5. It's only going to get faster out there. And Mando is qualified on the medium tyre so far, so if he can stay in the top 10 on them mediums, he has done very well, to say the least. And continues on the lap. Meanwhile, we're going to go further back. Fazak is coming down towards second chicane on his first lap, and he's just gone purple in sector 1 in the Alpine. First time we've seen Fazak in a bit. Through the first Lesmo and into the second Lesmo he goes. Nice and tidy, just about keeps it within the white lines. DRS down the back straight, down towards the Scary, under the old circuit. And into the Scary chicane. Again, really nice and tidy from Fazak there. It's looking a very tidy lap. I hope it's going to be quick enough to break into the 1:20s. He's going to have to get a move on if he is, as he rounds Parabolica onto the front straight. I think it's going to be a 1:21, I think. No, it isn't. It's a 1:20.7, so Fazak opens his account. That's currently an Alpine 1-2. Well, currently an Alpine front row lockout is the right way of saying it in qualifying. And that could get very interesting indeed. I mean, we've seen it done before with the Alpines being on the front row together. There is some. They have got a good car this year. We've got a couple of yellows out in the first sector. Just a few people getting out of the way. Let's go back and have a look at JB, who's in the Ferrari tonight. And he's currently improving. He's 2 tenths up on his previous time. This might sneak him into the 1:21s, and it isn't now because he's gone wide on the exit of Ascari, and he'll be heading back to the pit lane for a new set of tyres. Benny is just on an outlap and warming up to get going just behind him. As Reek Physic just sneaks up into 7th place. I just saw 1:21.7 from him. Benny is about to start a lap. Maestro splits the two Alpines with a 1:20.6 over the line with just over 8 minutes to go. He's not going for a back-to-back one though, I don't think, because he seems to be going very slow through the first chicane. Well, I could be wrong. He's picked up a bit of pace now. There he is, just ahead of Benny. Benny heads down towards the second chicane, and Maestro is getting out of the way. Benny is a 10th up on his current time. And is Maestro going to be a bit cheeky here and try and... No, he isn't. He's backing out. Thought for a second, because he was following Benny quite close there through the chicane, whether he was going to try and get a toe off him. as a bit of drag reduction round this Monza circuit is crucial. Benny is 4 tenths up on his previous time. This is definitely going to sneak him into the 121s if he can keep it together. As he heads down the back straight once again. Braking into Parabolica, nice and tidy through there. Onto exit, almost runs wide, just about keeps it within the white lines. Comes across the line, it's a 121.7 and it jumps him a bit further up the timing sheet into P9 for the time being. I'm sure he's got a bit more in the tank than that. As getting to the stage where we've got a few people in the pits now. Mosquito in the Mercedes has had a moment because he is missing a front wing there. No surprises, he is heading for the pit lane. Wreck Diver is on his way to try and improve. Currently P6. He was up to P4 at one point, but there has been a few guys, Maestro, Fazak, barging the way up the leaderboard. See what Wreck Diver can do in that Aston Martin. His teammate Vitrosity has joined, but he is going to be not got into the qualifying session quick enough, so he's going to have to sit out the quali session and wait until the race. Wreck Diver rounds Parabolica. Is this going to break into the 121s? I think it is, and it has indeed. It puts him up to P5. Jumps Ripu, crashed out earlier in the session. 121.2. I'm sure he can go quicker than that. As he heads to get out of the way, heads to the runoff at the first chicane. And almost, bloody hell, almost collects Maestro there coming through. Excuse my language for any under 18s watching. And it's getting to that time now where it's getting a bit calm. Benny is on a lap as well again. And he's a second down on his fastest time so far. He's actually improved a bit as Benny. He's done a 121.0, which has jumped him up to P4. I know what pace Benny is capable of, but it'll be interesting to see if the Scotsman can hold it together. He's been unlucky the last couple of races. Had a spin out in Singapore and also a spin in Baku. As he heads for the pit lane. Donkey Max is looking to improve on his previous time, and he spins it coming out of the second chicane. I was just about to say he'd gone purple in the first sector, which he had, and then loops it round on exiting the chicane. Just caught the tail end of that. It looked like he had a bit of kick of oversteer there, overcorrected it and just looped it round. It is easily done around this racetrack. Meanwhile, the man who is trying to catch up to him, Maestro, is currently well, less than that. He's very close actually. It's about 200ths of a second between the two of them. Maestro is trying to catch up. As he goes round, and Maestro has had a huge accident. Loses it in the first Lesmo. Wow, we've seen so many people do that today. That is going to be a car in the middle of the road, which people are going to have to avoid. Hopefully everyone gets through okay. In fact, I think the car might have ghosted, which is good. Keeps him out of trouble. Meanwhile, Mando's just had to avoid it as well, but he's jumped up the leaderboard. He's on 121.0 on soft tyres. He was qualifying on mediums earlier. So has he got a bit more in the tank? We'll have to wait and see. And he'd have to back out there due to due to Maestro being in the middle of the road with a popped front tyre. So Maestro's out of the session, so it's really only Fazak and Mando and Benny and maybe Wreck Diver who could try and challenge here. Donkey Max for the pole position. Like I say, it looks like Donkey Max is pushing a bit too hard now. You did just see him lose it coming down out of the second chicane, looped it round. Luckily didn't hit the wall, so didn't end up with a pop front tyre, but that's 3 drivers now we've lost from this session. Grobs, as I mentioned earlier, has got a qualifying ban, so he was retired straight away. Meanwhile, Reek Physic is about to cross the line and jumps into P8. There's a 121.3, that's an improvement. He did a 121.6 earlier, so that's an improvement by 3/10. Deadly Mosquito coming down the back straight into the final, into Parabolica, sorry. Using every last bit of track to try and get a bit of traction out of that corner. I don't think it's going to be an improvement, and it isn't from him. 122.7 on that occasion. He's better than 122.2, so he's got some work to do in the last stages. Well, he's going to have to do it on this lap because there's only 45 seconds of the session remaining. Physic isn't improving, so he's out the equation. Benny is on the lap, but only slightly improving. We'll see what he comes across to the next sector, and he's just gone purple in the second sector as Benny. This could be a very good lap from him if he can just pull a bit more time out of that Williams. It was a pretty poor first sector from him, but the second sector he's gone faster than anybody. Can he get a purple final sector as he rounds the Parabolica? He might even get another lap in here, and I think he is just going to squeeze another lap in as he crosses the line. It's a 120.7, jumps him up to P3, but he will get another go at it. So it's not all over for him yet. Reek Physic out of the last corner is slowing down, and I think JB has crashed down at Parabolica. He has indeed. They've cleared it away, but he is out of the session. Deadly Mosquito's about to cross the line. And is he going to improve? No is the answer on that one. Wreck Diver does improve though. 120.5. It's 2,000ths of a second between him and Donkey Max. Is Donkey Max improving? The answer so far is yes. The next person to cross the line is Mando. He's 2/10 up on his previous time. Is he going to jump into the 1:20s? He is indeed, and it puts him P3 for now. As Donkey Max will be the next to come across the line. He's just gone purple in the second sector. He's absolutely flying out there as he makes his way down to Parabolica. Around Parabolica he goes, using, well, not quite using as much track as I thought he was. He's going for the inside line for the line though. Is it an improvement? Yes it is. It's a 1 minute 20.2. Next across the line is Fazak. Fazak is into the pit lane, so he's out the equation. The only man who could challenge is Benny, and he can't. He is 126 already. So Donkey Max for Alpine is on pole position. Wreck Diver pulled out a stonking last lap to get himself into P2. Mando on his debut in the Haas puts it on the second row of the grid in P3. Great drive from him. Maestro, even after crashing out in the first Lesmo, is still hanging on for P4. Benny comes across the line P5. Fazak is P6. Ripu crashed out in the Lesmos as well is P7. Reek Physic is P8. Waffler's P9. JB crashed in Parabolica on the last run. He's down in P10. May in the Red Bulls P11. Deadly Mosquito is down in P12, and Grobs didn't set a time due to that qualifying ban, and Vitrosity joined us late, so he is at the back of the grid as as well as Big Bad Boots, who crashed out in the second chicane. Stay tuned, guys, and we'll be back for the race shortly. Welcome back, guys, to the Global Racing League. The formation lap for the Italian Grand Prix is underway. Just a quick reminder of the top of the grid for you. Donkey Max is on pole position. Wreck Diver has had a great last qualifying, managed to get it all the way up into P2. Mando on his debut in the Haas. It'll be interesting to see what he can do. He starts on the second row of the grid in P3. Maestro, who crashed out in qualifying but managed to get a time in, is alongside him in P4. Benny and Fazak are on the third row of the grid in P5 and 6. Reaps P7. Physic is down in P8. Waffler and JB are P9 and 10 on the fifth row of the grid. May is in P11. Deadly Mosquito's P12. RBR Grobs is P13. Atrocity's P14. And Big Bad Boots is starting from the back of the grid. Also just noticed as well, I completely forgot about this. The Red Bulls have now got the white Honda livery on for this race. So it's Honda's last season in F1 for the foreseeable future, if not forever. Tribute livery into the game is really, really nice to see. As we head back to the front, as cars head their way down towards Parabolica. Like I say, it will be a very interesting race, this one. A lot of cars will be running low wing setups just to try and get a bit of straight line speed. It's a track where you need a bit of downforce in the chicanes, but you want as much straight line speed as possible down the front straight. A couple of the guys have been reset to the grid. But they make their way to the grid, lining up. The last few cars take their places on the grid and will be ready to go for round 9 of the Global Racing League here from Monza in Italy for the Italian Grand Prix. And I think we're about ready to go. Who is going to get the better getaway? It's 5 red lights here in Monza. It's lights out and away we go. Good getaway from Donkey Max though. He manages to cut across Wreck Diver. That's all he needed to do. And there's a huge crash at the back. Grubbs is out of the race already. I think Deadly Mosquito was involved in that one as they make their way, and it's a virtual safety car before they even get to turn 1. And Donkey Max has got a 5-second penalty for a collision. The Atrocity's got a collision with JB. But Grubbs is out of the race already. I'm not sure what happened at the back there. That'll be one for the stewards to look at. They make their way down into the second chicane for the first time. It is a virtual safety car though, so we won't be seeing any passes for the time being, as we've got a few off in the background. That's JB falling down the order after having a bit of an off, as we wait to go green for... I've never seen a virtual safety car come out so quickly after a start. That must be a world record we've set there. It literally came out as soon as we were about 100 yards away from the grid and the virtual safety car came out. Like I say, I don't know what's happened to Grubbs there, but he is out of the race, so we're down to 14 cars already. I don't know whether he just moved. It looked like he was involved with Deadly Mosquito. I don't think Mosquito got away from the line by the looks of things, and Grubbs has gone straight into the back of him. As meanwhile, as they cross to begin lap 2, we go green, and Benny has made a terrible call. He's gone into the pits on the end of lap 1 because the safety car, virtual safety car, is still out. But now we're back racing again as they head through the first chicane for the second time. This time under green flag conditions as we sweep round down towards the second chicane. Wreck Diver looking to try and make a move on Donkey Max here. Looks out, can't get past. Mando just behind these lot is looking to pick up the scraps between the two of them. And it looks like Mando might be scrapping here with Wreck Diver. This is going to allow Donkey Max to get a bit of breathing room in these early stages. As there's an Alpine going wide in the background. I think that was Fazak kicking up the dust, going very wide through the second Lesmo. And Maestro's got past Fazak in the meantime due to that. So Fazak did go very wide, saying the one stop is possible here. It'll be touch and go, I think, on the soft to mediums. Softs to hards, absolutely 100%. You'll be able to do a one stop around here. Soft mediums might be touch and go. It's Donkey Max 1:23.2, fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. And even though we've only had one racing lap, the DRS is now available on this lap of 27. Meanwhile, JB's making some moves up from P10. He's having a look on Reek Physic here. He just can't quite get the move done on the Mercedes. He's all over the back of him though, and you would think he's going to make a move on Reek sooner rather than later. We've got a spinner down. That is Big Bad Boots having a spin down at the first chicane. And JB swoops around the outside, and Reek Physic goes over the curb, jumps in the air, and JB will have to give that position back, and so he does correctly. Reek Physic jumped over the curb. JB did the right thing and take avoiding action to avoid a collision there, but at the same time he gained the position off track, so he needed to give that one back. However, He's going to try and fire back. He's going to try and go around the outside into Ascari. That is brave, and he's got the job done. Can he hold from Reek Physic? No, Reek Physic goes into the back of him, and he's out of the race. He's had a huge accident, Ascari and Fazak, and it's a chain reaction between all of them. There's 4 cars. That's going to have to be a safety car, and it is. Waffler, Vitrosity, and Fazak all caught out by Reek Physic's mistake, and it was just a chain reaction after Reek Physic went into the wall. Now this is going to be crucial. Who is into the pit lane? Donkey Max is in. Wreck Diver is also in. Mandro, the top 3, the top 5 are into the pit lane. Big Bad Boots is staying out. That is a very big call. I had a race round here last week in the Pathra Division 2 League, and we had a similar incident where the safety car came out on lap 5, and I was on the soft tyres, and it cost me dear in the end. Is that answer, with everyone else pitting around me, and I think they've just about managed to clear that mess up in the Ascari chicane. It was just a chain reaction between all of them there, all getting spooked there by Physic, I think. And that means we've lost 4 cars in one corner, which is a real shame. But unfortunately, that is racing for you. And with that many retirements, there was no doubt there was going to be a safety car. And as always, guys, we will take a quick break during the safety car period, and we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys, to the Global Racing League. The safety car's coming in this lap, and we're about to go racing, hopefully. We've got 10 cars left, so everyone who is left in this race, as long as they finish the race, is going to score points, which is quite a rarity, you see, in this league. However, the safety car peels off. Big Bad Boots has left it very, very late, and he's gone now. And May has also stayed out, but Donkey Max on the hard tyre is going to try and send it on the inside of May down into turn 1. This could be brave. He's going to have to be committed to the move if he's going to do it. And I think he has. just about, and he swept round the outside of Bad Boots as well. Unbelievable move from Donkey Max. I didn't see that one coming. And Big Bad Boots though is going to try and fight him round this outside, and he has to tuck in eventually. That is an excellent restart from Donkey Max as they go side by side. Wreck Diver side by side with JB into the chicane, and they both spin both round. Wreck Diver JB resets to track. I'm not sure you should be doing that really, considering you both took each other out. Wreck Divers to the back of the field. JB's down to 7th place. Big Bad Boots has also been involved in that. He's dropped down to P9. And we're pretty much, as we started, by the fact that Main the Red Bull did not pit. He is on a one-stop strategy. He started on the medium tyre, so it was way too early for him to pit. But he's going to come under attack from Mando here as they come down this back straight. Mando looking to potentially try and make a move into Parabolica. Is he going to have a look? He has a look, he has a look. He has to tuck in. Eventually does Mando. And he might potentially get DRS coming down this front straight. In fact, DRS won't be activated this time, but he's going to try and have a bit of a drag race, and he gets ahead of the Red Bull in the Haas. It's been a great debut from Mando so far. Meanwhile, just behind, Maestro is defending from Benny, who's trying to get past. And in the meantime, that is May that spun. I've just missed that off camera. He spun down at the first chicane. So that promotes Mando up into P2. And Maestro's defending from Benny here. Is Benny going to make a move into the second chicane? Not on this occasion is the answer. However, he gets a bit of a better exit coming out as they head down towards the two Lesmos, sorry. Through Lesmo 1 and through Lesmo 2 they go. Benny's still trying to make a move. He's using ERS. You can see on the screen there, the green bar indicates that he is using ERS. He's trying to use the overtake mode to try and get past Maestro here. He's a little bit too far back on this occasion. Meanwhile, just behind him, his teammate Reap is defending from JB as Benny goes very wide on exit there. That could leave him vulnerable to Reap on exit. He's got JB to worry about those Reaps. He's got to do attacking and on his teammate and defending from the Ferrari at the same time, which is very much easier said than done. DRS is enabled on this lap. So they come across the line. They won't get DRS down this straight, but they'll get it down the back straight on this occasion as JB looks to try and make a move on Reap here. Can't quite get it done on this occasion and almost goes into the back of Reap in the process. Just about catches it and stops him hitting the rear of the Williams car. Will live to fight another day. Meanwhile, back at the front, Mandro is closing the gap to Donkey Max. This could get a very interesting battle, to say the least. And we know how quick that Haas has been all season in that capable hands of Tom. Tom is not here tonight. Mandro is replacing him. And Mandro is going to get DRS. It's Haas versus Alpine down the back straight. We've seen this plenty of times this season already. Is Mandro going to make a move into Ascari? Not quite on this occasion. Has to back out of it. He'll get another slipstream though coming down the back straight towards Parabolica. And you'd think Mandro actually went on to another set of softs, so he's going to be on a two-stop strategy, that is for sure. There's no way you'll get two sets of softs at the end of the race. Hence why he's trying to do all the attacking. Can he get past Donkey Max for the race lead? That is the crucial question. Swoops to the outside, Donkey Max tucks in. And Mandro takes the lead of the race and Donkey Max spins at the first chicane. Loops it round and that is cost him a handful of positions. He's down to P4. Benny's up to P3. Maestro's up to P2. And that means Mandro is not just going to be able to try and pull away here. He knows he needs to get a gap if he's going to be able to do this as a two-stop race. If them lot are battling behind, this could get very interesting, to say the least. Meanwhile, Benny is battling with Maestro. I was just saying about the need, if they need to be battling if Mandro needs to get away. Well, this is music to the ears of Mandro currently. As Benny has DRS on Maestro, this is for over second position. Maestro goes defensive. Benny can't make the move going into Ascari. As they exit out, head down the back straight towards Parabolica. And in the meantime, there's that Donkey Max again. I think it is indeed. He's lost his front wing. He's looped it round in Parabolica. Oh my goodness me! This on a day where Donkey Max needed really to score maximum points to close into Tom, it has not gone to plan. It has not gone to plan for him, and he is down the order. Meanwhile, Benny is finally, looks like, going to get past Maestro, and he does indeed, gets the job done. Maestro's going to have an attack down into the chicane though, and Benny defends it really well actually, fair play to him. Kicks up a bit of gravel on exit. If he's keeps scrapping, this is going to be a good race. JB is also on a two-stop strategy. He is on the soft compounder tyre. As far as I'm aware, he did pit. Yes, he has pitted, so he did not start the race on them tyres. He's going to try and go a distance, probably going to be on the same strategy as Mandro by the looks of things, as Benny has lost the position to Maestro coming out of Ascari there. He's going to have a look at him down into Parabolica, just can't quite get the nose up the inside. It's a difficult corner to commit to, especially the corner closes up on you on exit, and Benny makes a little bit of a mistake there. That could leave him vulnerable to JB. They're both going to get DRS down this front straight. They're both going to be dragged along by Maestro in front. Benny is defending hard. JB's going to try and go up the inside of Benny. Is Benny going to try and hold it, or is he going to give him the position? No, concedes the position in the end, and JB is up to P3. And in the meantime, Mandro's extended a 7-second gap to Maestro here. He needs to get, in theory, at least 20 seconds to make this strategy possible so he can get to the end of the race. So he's going to need to go a long way on these tyres to try and get a gap that big. As meanwhile, and back down, Benny obviously losing out to JB. JB's going to now have a bit of an attack on Maestro. So they head down into Ascari. JB using DRS to drag him forward a little bit, try and close that gap to Maestro as much as he can. The gap is under 4 tenths now. This could be striking distance for JB here. Again, he's on a two-stop strategy, so he needs to get ahead of these boys sooner rather than later. We've got a yellow in sector 2. Big Bad Boots has had a spin at the second chicane and has dropped down the order. And while once again JB will get DRS down this front straight. Benny has lost DRS to these lots, so these lot are pulling a nice gap to him. JB down the inside, just about gets it stopped. And JB moves up into second place, and that's Maestro off in the background. Has he managed to keep it going? Yes, he has. He's hit the wall, though. I think that'll definitely be nose damage. Somehow he's managed to not pop his tyre off there. You just saw him flying off in the background. And he has got wing damage. He's missing an end plate off the front. Again, this is music to the ears of Mandro, who's now got a 10-second gap to anybody who's trying to go to the end of the race here. Benny, you would think, is going to try on their medium tyres, but he's going to have to do a lot of tyre saving in the process. Wreck Diver has just swooped past Maestro for 4th position after Maestro went off track. And this could get very interesting. Lap 13 out of 27. here at the Autodrome Nazionale di Monza. Mandro in the Haas, replacing Tom tonight, leads the race. Donkey Max, Tom's main championship rival, is not going to score the points that he needed today to try and close the gap. He was in the lead of the race and lost the lead of the race by spinning. He is down in P7 currently. Now has just made his way up to P6 as Maestro was in the pit lane. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get back in this race. Mandro's got an 11-second gap to JB now. This is looking very good for him. Meanwhile, JB is battling with Benny. Benny would say is Mandro's main target at the minute, because Benny will be able to go to the end of the race on them tyres, you would think. It'll be a bit touch and go. He may have to stop again. We'll wait and see. But even so, if that's the case, it means Mandro has got a big gap to Wreck Diver of at least 22 seconds. JB is into the pit lane, so he's coming in for his second stop. And is putting on the medium tyres. Here's JB, so he will continue to try and go in the race. And meanwhile, Maestro has had a crash down at Ascari. He's into the wall, I think. Yes, he is. Is that going to shake up the order and bring out a safety car? It might not, because it wasn't a chain reaction like the others last time. I've got the safety cars on reduced to try and counteract that. We might get a VSC at best, looking like it. I don't think anything is going to happen with that one. Mandro crosses the line once again, pulling a nice gap here. 13 seconds is the gap between him and Benny. Benny's just coming down the start finish straight. Mandro's on the exit of the chicane, so it's a nice comfortable gap he's got here. Benny, I'm starting to think he's going to have to stop again on their medium tyres. 12 laps old, it's a long way to go on a set of mediums. Wreck Diver definitely won't have to stop again, he can go all the way. JB's now completed his stop, so it's all to play for really, but this seems to be going in Mando's favour so far. He's using a lot of ERS just to try and extend that gap a little bit more, give him a bit more breathing space as he comes through the Ascari chicane. Nice and tidy through there once again. He's driven well, to be fair. He had some big boots to fill coming in tonight, and it seems to be paying off. And Wreck Diver has also got past JB now due to JB pitting. So Wreck Diver is into third place. Mando heads down towards turn 1 once again. Meanwhile, a bit further back, there's a little bit of a battle forming, not much, but May's closing onto the back of Deadly Mosquito. Big Bad Boots behind. And Mando's going to be catching up to these boys pretty shortly, so he needs to be wary of traffic more than anything else. May's going to be going into the end of the race on them tyres. Deadly Mosquito is probably going to have to pit again. Big Bad Boots will definitely have to pit again. Tyre situation around Monza is always a complicated one, and you would think Mando has got enough scope to pit here. Whether he'll wait for Benny to go in, I'm not sure. Even still, he's got quite a large gap to play with. And it seems like he's still extending it. 15.2 seconds is the gap between him and Benny. And in fact, Mando is in on this lap. So this is where it's going to get interesting. Where's Benny? Benny is coming round Parabolica. Will Benny follow him in? Or is he going to stay out to take the race lead? He's staying out to take the race lead. This needs to be a quick stop from the Haas boys. The medium tyres are on. But Benny is out into the race lead. Where is Wreck Diver? That is the crucial thing here. And the answer is miles behind Mandro. He is going to close up a bit on him into turn 1. But there is Mandro just pulling out ahead. So Mandro gets out in P2. And the next person that's going to need to bite the bullet is Benny. Is he going to go see it? Is he going to try and do another 10 laps on them 14 lap old mediums? Like I say, it's going to be touch and go. I don't think he'll manage it. I think he will have to accept that he's going to have to pit at some point. As Wreck Diver's using a bit of ERS here to try and close up to Mando. 3.3 is the gap. Big Bad Boots has just got a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Not getting down to the 60 kph that is allowed in there. And to be fair, this has been a good race to watch. Probably one of the more entertaining races this season. Plenty of action. We have lost quite a few drivers, but it's been there's been a lot of action. Meanwhile, Benny is in. Benny is in. So Mando takes the race lead. Wreck Diver wasn't far behind him, and he's gonna take that off Benny as well. There's Benny. Now the question is where's JB, and is Benny gonna get out ahead of JB? The answer is no. Where is Reap is the question. Reap is going into the pit lane. Donkey Max is coming out. And I think Donkey Max is going to get ahead of Benny as well. He has indeed. Benny has lost out big time in this pit stop window. So Mandro still leads the way. Wreck Diver will try and chase him down as much as he can, but Mandro's on fresh tyres. So it'll be very difficult for him to do. Wreck Diver's hards are 13 laps old now, and he's got to do another 9 laps on them, so we're doing 22 laps on this stint to try and get him to, well, basically to the end of the race really. So it's going to be touch and go. Meanwhile, further back, Benny's come out behind Donkey Max, but he's closing the gap pretty quickly on them fresh tyres. Benny is going quickest so far. He's just gone purple, faster than anybody in the first sector. He's really on the charges, Benny. Going very wide, coming through the first Lesmo. And he's got DRS on Donkey Max here. Down towards Ascari. And he'll use all the ERS he can to get closer to Donkey Max. This is the closest battle on track so far. Benny doesn't get a good exit at all, loses a lot of time out that last corner. So that is diffused for now. Meanwhile, his teammate Reap is battling away with the Mercedes of Deadly Mosquito. They've got May for company, not so far behind either. And Deadly Mosquito's pitting, so that has diffused that battle pretty quickly. Head back up to Benny, who's starting to reclose the gap to Donkey Max after the little mistake he made. Lap 20 out of 27, 7 to go in this race. And it's been a good one to watch though, to be fair. Nice and entertaining. Close battles between the majority of the field. I say anything can happen around here. A late safety car. Donkey Max has lost out to Benny in the meantime, and he's trying to close the gap back up and try and get back past. Any mistakes are crucial here around Monza. You make one little mistake and it can cost you your race. Donkey Max will get DRS on Benny here. Uses the DRS to close back up, but can't quite get close enough on this occasion. Benny has a little bit of a mistake there. Kicks a bit of wheel out. Somehow just about holds it together. Benny's just falling off the back of Donkey Max here. gap is starting to form. There's not really any other battles on track at the minute, which is annoying to say the least, and that's Benny in the wall, I think, and he's out of the race. As I was just saying, there wasn't really any battles, or there's no battles now. Benny has crashed out into the wall. We've seen so many people do that today on the exit of Ascari, and he is out of the race. It's a real shame for him. Is there going to be a late safety car? We will have to wait and see. Looks like it's going to be okay for now. It's going to be that yellow in the Ascari chicane. And we've got a yellow in sector 2, and that is Donkey Max that has spun just as he was battling with Benny just a few corners ago. He's just spun himself, however he's managed to keep going. Few mistakes starting to creep in now between everybody. And it has been a long old race as this. Mandro heads on to lap 25 out of 27. Another yellow in sector 3, and is that JB going slowly? It is indeed! JB has gone very slowly, and he seems to have got it back going. I wonder if his car stalled for a second. He seems to be okay now, but his car seemed to have almost cut out on that back straight. He was going very slowly. He's got DRS here on Donkey Max to try and close back up. This could end up being a nice little tasty battle for the last few laps. They head down to the second chicane once again. And, oh, that's Donkey Max going very wide, and I think he's in the wall. He has indeed. He is out of the race. The main championship rival, his main rival not racing, and he is out of the race. He's going to score no points on a day that he needed to score vital points if he was going to close the gap. He's out of the race. And that is a real shame. Donkey Max is out of the race. That could be a championship deciding moment right there. We will have to wait and see what happens in future races. But Tom is going to be watching this, and that is going to be absolute music to his ears. He's going to be absolutely loving that. As meanwhile, onto the penultimate lap. Mandro, who's replaced Tom tonight, has driven a pretty much perfect race. They may give him a full-time seat in GRL if he can drive like that every week. It will make the racing really interesting. As Mandro heads down towards Parabolica for the second to last time. Onto the front straight he comes. He's going to cross the line to begin the final lap of this GRL Italian Grand Prix. Say he's driven a spotless race. Started third on the grid. Made his way up to P1 pretty quickly. Had a good tyre strategy. Done the two-stop strategy. And it's paid off for him. Making an advantage of the safety cars that did come out. which we had one safety car and one virtual safety car. Virtual safety car, we're still going to have to look back at that, because it must be the quickest virtual safety car in history. That the cars hadn't even got, I know it's a long run to turn one, but they hadn't even got to turn one by the time the safety car came out, the virtual safety car, sorry, came out. It'll be interesting to see what happened with Grobs at the start of the race on a later date. He was involved with Deadly Mosquito in something. Whether penalties will come of it, we'll have to wait and see. A man who is not suffering from any penalties whatsoever, Mandro, who comes down the back straight and heads down to Parabolica for the last time. He had some big boots to fill. He had some very big boots to fill in Tom's absence, but he's absolutely delivered. Mandro wins the GRL Italian Grand Prix. He wins in Monza. Mandro wins it for Haas. Crucial Constructors' Championship points. No Drivers' Championship points, though, for any of the front runners today. All retired today. Well, either not run. Donkey Max Benny, who retired, and Tom didn't run today. Rec Diver's come home for second place. JB is going to get his first podium in GRL and comes home for P3 in the Ferrari. Great drive from him. Reap is going to come home for P4 in the Williams. His teammate Benny crashed out in the latter stages of this race. Reap comes home for P4 and gets good points for Williams in the Constructors' Championship. May in the Red Bull, who started very near the back of the grid, so to speak, is going to come home for P5, which is a really, really good result for him. May crosses the line for P5, and Deadly Mosquito will come home for P6. Well, what a race that was. That man is going to be absolutely delighted there, is Mandro. He is the winner of the GRL Italian Grand Prix. He's put a spotless race together and he fully deserves it. Guys, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.